Well, good news today to all Manchester United fans all over the world, because this is something that I've been always talking about every time I've been talking about the draws of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, that Ten Hag has come in with a huge blessing at Manchester United, and looks like everything is going his way. Today, Man City have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Southampton. 2-0. City couldn't really go ahead and really respond to level the game, all forced penalties. That was out. Then, after that, draws have been taken and United have been drawn against Nottingham Forest. That's the leading story of this video, but we're going to talk about the Casemiro Jong decision, and I'm going to call this a Jong blessing in disguise as we go ahead and really dig deep into this. And lastly, Lindelof being wanted by Atletico Madrid, and obviously United turned that down, confirmed us by Fabrizio Romano. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. And if at all you're watching us for the very first time, lower right bottom corner, smash that black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time we upload a video onto our channel. Now, we are left with just 40 people. 40 subscribers to hit 10,000 subscribers. That gives you a reason to subscribe, because we want to hit that number. I think by the end of tomorrow, we must have hit that number. Had not so, I trust you guys, and I know you're going to go ahead and really make it and really have to happen. Now, today, Man City has been beaten. Rock and David is my name. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, Rock and David is my name. Today, Man City have been knocked out of the Carabao Cup, and this was the only blocking factor, or a huge blocking factor in the way of Manchester United. And trust me, I'm not saying that if City is out, we're 100% going to win it, but we are now the favorites to win it. If City was in, City would have been the favorites to win the Carabao Cup, but this time around, it's United in to win the Carabao Cup. And when you look at the draw, let me throw it on your screen. When you look at the draw, even if City was in, we are not going to face City in the semi-final, because City would have been here where there is Southampton. Southampton is facing Newcastle, meaning that City was going to face Newcastle, and Nottingham, or Wolverhampton was going to face Manchester United. That's it. So there is a lot of luck in these things of Ten Hag, guys. I don't know how God is making it, but it is just a smooth path for Erik Ten Hag as he's trying to build up the team. He has not gotten to face these huge teams in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup, apart from the draw against Barcelona, of which I believe Barcelona is weak and weak and weak. We can knock it out. In the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, God is still with us. After knocking out Everton in the FA Cup, we are drawn against Reading at Old Trafford. You get? So, City is out. Arsenal is facing City. One of those is going to be out. Liverpool has to go ahead and really play at Molineux. If at all they really lose, they will be out. And I believe Liverpool might be knocked out at Molineux. So it looks like we might find ourselves in a situation where there are only two huge teams left in the draw of the FA Cup to win it. So I believe United are really blessed. We are really blessed. I think the hugest team here is Newcastle. Newcastle, I believe they're having a desire, they're having the hunger, they're having a drive to win something, because they last won a trophy, I think, is it 60 years back? That's when they last won a trophy. So they are here trying to come out and really force out something to win. But I believe we can beat any team. We can beat any team. Newcastle came out of trophy. The reason that's why they drew is that we are not clinical. We had good chances. Rashford had like 3 chances. Ronaldo had 1. Freddie had 1. We had like 5 chances to kill off that game, and we never had a centre forward that is really prolific. But when you look at how Rashford is growing into form, Martial, if at all Weghorst comes in through, then we will be a team to go ahead and really win this trophy. And obviously, Nottingham, we are going to beat it. We are going to knock Nottingham out. That's it. That is no doubt, no worries. We are knocking Nottingham out, because I believe even if you're playing Nottingham in the semi-final and you bring in Weghorst to lead the line, Alejandro Garnacho on the left, Sancho on the right, I know Bruno will be playing in the central attack midfield, Casemiro and maybe Freddie, then Malacia, Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Delo, Varane, Lisandro Martinez, or Varane and Luke Shaw, it depends on how the manager will pick his starting 11, we can destroy Nottingham. And I believe we are already in the final, unless otherwise, but I believe we are already in the final. And it being a two game tie, I believe it gives that a chance because it's Nottingham that is hosting us first, and the final game is going to be played at Old Trafford, meaning that you go to the City Stadium where Nottingham plays at, you get a draw or a win, you come to Old Trafford and obviously seal it, because we all believe that this team, or Old Trafford, has turned into a fortress by Erik ten Hag. And secondly, this is a chance and another sign of luck. Why has the draw picked out United to play the second leg at Old Trafford? Because if you play the first leg at your ground and you don't win comfortably, things can turn out wild at the stadium of the opponent. And you know how Nottingham really behaves at its stadium. They've gone ahead to beat very many teams there. And Chelsea went ahead, they drew, and they would have even won that game of football. Now you see Wolverhampton Wanderers has been there. They've been knocked out. 90 minutes 1-1, and Dean Henderson saves the penalty to go ahead and really play them into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. And notably, now Dean Henderson won't be in goal. That means Hennessy will return in goal or to be in between the stitches as we play them. So that's what I can let you know about the Carabao Cup, but it is going to be a very huge game, and thank God Bruno is going to return, because Bruno missed out on the Charlton game because he had gotten a yellow card in the game we played against, what was that team we first beat in the Carabao Cup before we beat Charlton? We first beat Aston Villa, he got a yellow card. Then in the game of Burnley, he got another yellow card. Then that mate was not supposed to play into this round of the quarterfinal. Now he's going to return and play a huge role into that central attacking midfield of Manchester United. So that's it about the Carabao Cup, and that draw has come out in favor of Manchester United. Now, let's go to this story coming in from Lord Whitwell, that after that loss against Brighton at Old Trafford, the board and Ten Hag really sat and really thought of who to bring in. They're telling us that after a defeat at home by Brighton, Manchester United shift from Frankie de Jong to other midfield targets. A recruitment meeting lasting several hours was held at Carrington to assess the options, and Casemiro came out on top. This is a lie. You know, these people are lying to us, because Frankie de Jong was not just shifted out of the way. The deal of Frankie de Jong failed to materialize because Frankie de Jong said no to leaving Barcelona before his deferred wages were being paid to him. You get? And after that, we saw United going in for Rabiot. How do you tell me that Casemiro came out number one and you never went in for the number one target at first? You get? You guys had decided to go in for Rabiot, and when Rabiot called in for a gigantic or astronomical weekly wage, you said, let's go for Casemiro. But you never wanted to go in for Casemiro, I think because of his age and because of the price tag that was going to be put on his... You get? But you reached an extent and you were left with no option. That's why you guys accepted Casemiro to come in at Manchester United. So, you see, the recruitment team of United is trying to play a pass for themselves. But we are fans who have been following up this club, and we've been following up these scenarios from A to Z. Every nitty-gritty involved into the De Jong deal is known. This deal was broken to us that Frankie de Jong is coming to Manchester United on the 7th of May by Gerard Romero. That's it. Erik ten Hag told the board, put a pause on all transfers and first get me my priority signing. You get? And the reason that's why we missed out on Darwin Núñez was that United never really, at any point, agreed that they would go ahead and really gate in players at the expensive budget they never really held. So, what happened? We signed in Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, Eriksson. You get? Darwin Núñez goes to Liverpool. After all that, we are beaten. After being beaten like that, decision was taken, let's bring in Rabiot. Rabiot Rabiot's agent, who happens to be his mother, called for a very ridiculous fee of a salary, and the board said no, we are not going to pay that amount of money. That's when Casemiro comes into through. But to me, I believe it's a blessing in disguise for Frankie de Jong not coming to Manchester United, because we got the best. And by the time we went in for Casemiro, I had people say, but the manager wanted Frankie de Jong and you get him Casemiro. I looked at these people and I asked them, do you know that for the last 5-6 years, we've been crying for CDM, and now we are getting a CDM who is even good at connecting the midfield to the attack, because Casemiro did it yesterday, and in this entire season, he has like 3 assists onto his name. You saw yesterday the 2 goals that Rashford scored. It's Casemiro who gets that ball and diagonally passes it or switches play to the right to find Pelestri. What Pelestri does is simple. He gets that ball. After getting the ball, Pelestri cuts inside and finds a splitting and finds a pocket of space where he really places that ball to find Rashford, and Rashford buries it home to make it 2-0. For the second one of Rashford, and the third one of United, Facundo Pelestri makes a diverging run, and a defender follows him to create space where Casemiro used his outside feet to do an assist for Rashford, and Rashford buried it home to make it 3 for United and 2 for Marcus Rashford in that game of football. So he is really a blessing in disguise. Missing out on Frankie de Jong was a blessing in disguise. Casemiro came in through, and obviously he is really doing more than what Frankie de Jong would have done into this side. And this time around, if I told in the summer bring in Frankie de Jong, he will fit in like a glove, because everything is really there to see to it that he is really going to thrive, because Casemiro will be playing into there, and most of the games will know that, like when you're playing City, you can play Frankie de Jong, Eriksen, and Casemiro. I think that midfield can go ahead and really overpower the midfield of City, because almost we are having players that can out-edge them at City. Now, Laurie Whitwell told us that scouts mapped Casemiro's play onto various United lineups to show how he would fit in, and conversations had already taken place to gain references on his character and professionalism. Rafael Varane was unequivocal in his support of the move. Now, supporting a move of Casemiro to United, Rafael Varane was there, and obviously he really talked to Casemiro, and obviously Casemiro said, I too want to join Manchester United because I've won it all at a club known as Real Madrid. So to me, I believe it is something that we really got right. You know, with the manager coming in through first season, getting in Casemiro, turning things around. Took long to bring him on the field of play because Scott McTominay and Eriksen were really playing well, and we had beaten very many teams. We beat Arsenal, we beat Liverpool, we beat Leicester City, we beat Southampton. So, looked like it was a perfect game for Casemiro to play, and obviously not until we lost 6-3 to Man City. That's when Casemiro really came in through and started against Everton, because he really played a very wonderful game. So to me, I believe Casemiro, kudos to everyone that really made that decision, but I think it had a God's hand in it, that it's 10 years now, it's coming to 10 years, after 10 years things change, and as things change, you need to get a game changer. And obviously, I believe Casemiro is the most important player in the game of Manchester United. Before Casemiro was integrated into this team, Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane looked the most important players of that team. Now when Casemiro came in through, even if you're playing with Luke Shaw and Rafael Varane, Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire, they look shielded by Casemiro because they're not exposed at all, because he does all what he needs to do. He blocks, he breaks play of the opponent, he gets that ball for the back four, he connects it to the midfield, to the attack, and that is Casemiro, the man that really came in from Real Madrid at £70 million. No one is still talking about that money. No one is still talking about that money, because that money is really up to full usage at Manchester United, and I believe we are really good at par at that signing of Casemiro. Now, Ten Hag, back when I was coming in at Manchester United, said every era comes to an end, and you are seeing how Liverpool are really being destroyed. Look at how Man City is being knocked out of the Carabao Cup. and they're drawn with Arsenal in the FA Cup, of which I believe Arsenal might shock them and really knock them out again. So I believe lots of wonders are really going to be seen this season. And I think I should put out this tweet of mine that after 10 years, things change. In May, I think it's going to be May, is it May 12th or May 12th or May 13th? It's going to mark 10 years ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left United. That is a decade. No. So, I believe there is going to be a shocking trophy that Ten Hag is going to win this season. I really see it, though we are not giving it an eye, but I'm just insinuating. According to how things are unfolding, there is a shocking trophy you're going to win. Trust me. Around March, you remind me about this, that I said it. Because when you look at how United is, we are one of the teams that are really having quality players, and if at all they can hit form at once, because there comes that time when the entire team hits form at once. That's it. Right now, we are having Varane, Lisandro Martinez, Diego Dalot, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, Rashford. I think out of the starting 11 players, only 6 have really hit form. But time is going to come when you're having 11 players and all of them are on form. That's the time I'm talking about, that can take us to a stretch of close to 10, 15 games without losing a single game. And we are not losing games now, yet our team is really not on form. The entire team is not on form. Wait for that time. And it's going to come in a very critical moment. And you guys will remind me that you'll see United really beating every person that really crosses their face. So, after that, Let's go to a man known as Victor Lindelof, and Fabrizio Romano has given us a story that Atletico Madrid asked for Victor Lindelof weeks ago, but United rejected as Ten Hag wants to keep him. Obviously, in the situation where we are in, you can't let a central defender go because we don't have money to buy a central defender. The central defenders we have are Varane, injury prone, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, and Lindelof. And the fifth one has been really integrated into that cast of the central defenders of United is Luke Shaw, playing on the left side of the central defense always. Now, when you look at Lindelof, he is now a third choice centre-back for United. Harry Maguire is a fourth or fifth choice centre-back for United, depending on how you think about it. The manager of United has always stated it that he needs 2 players in every position. The only position where he needs 3 players is the centre forward role, because when one gets injured and you're having 2, that means you're left with 1. So it's always better to be having a substitute of a striker onto your bench, such that if you feel like the other one needs to be rested, like in the season where we're in, we are going to be playing literally 3 games per week. You play on Saturday, 2 games per week. You play on Saturday, Wednesday, all Saturday, Sunday, all Thursday. That calls in for a very huge squad. You can't let out Victor Lindelof go. The only way you get Victor Lindelof leave the club is when you're having money to bring in a Kim Min-jae, to bring in a Vadio, to bring in a Julian Timber. You get? And very many other good central defenders that United has always been linked with. This Torres guy that plays for Villarreal, who plays on the left side of the central defense, the Spanish guy. You get such people. But if at all you don't have the money to bring them in, then you have to hold them to that. Because you see, even Aaron Bissaka cannot be let go because we are not having money to buy in a right back at the club. So, I believe Lindelof, he might not even go in the summer. That's what I'm really believing. Because I think Harry Maguire might find himself sold. Then another left-footed central defender will be brought in, and that will call for Lindelof and Varane to always tussle for the right side of the central defense. Then a left-footed central defender to tussle it out with Lisandro Martinez at the left side of the central defense of Manchester United. So that's what Fabrizio Romano told us about Victor Lindelof. And obviously, your thoughts about these 3 stories we talked about are welcome in the comment section below. 1, semi-final draw. We've been drawn against Nottingham Forest. 2, what are your thoughts about United taking Casemiro and Jong after Jong denied us? To me, I've regarded this as a blessing in disguise. Do you regard it as source according to you? So that's what I had for you. Thank you very much for watching in through. I think, let me see whether I'm going to come up and really do another story. But all in all, that's what I had for you tonight. Good night. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates.